Alright guys, such a comic again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying all day. So far, OpTic turned the streams on again last night, showcasing a couple of sets of scrims against both the Los Angeles teams, smoking the Gorillas as you might well expect. That Gentlemates roster, have they improved all that much? And Los Angeles Thieves, yes, they retain their titles as the scrim champions for now, but OpTic far closer in this scrim set than we saw the other day, and especially a dominant protocol control where Ghosty and the others were having a particularly rough time. Lots to talk about today. Are OpTic getting significantly better, given that they've made a change not that long ago and seem to have significant room for improvement? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Thought this is kind of cool, as is this. So, you know, they got ping pong tables in the OpTic setup. They got ping pong tables here at the Falcon setup. And, you know, Exnid, like, I'm not really very good at ping pong. Trey, like, smoked me in it a couple of times when we were in Riyadh. And, I don't know, Exnid seems pretty nice with it. Like, that's, I don't know, that looks like good technique to me. Anyway, Exnid might be, I know that HyDra thinks he's pretty good. So, I'd love to see a little ping pong tournament, I don't know, Major 4, Champs or something. Guess it can't be Champs really, can it? Because, like, the Falcons boys aren't going to be there. Maybe Riyadh, because they had, like, a ping pong table backstage at the player setup that was out there at the Esports World Cup. So, yeah, maybe that's part of the plan. I saw, yeah, Julian in the reply says, I don't know, I was rinsing you in EWC at Pred. Guy hasn't won a game versus Exnid in, like, over 50 at this point. So, maybe Exnid, I know that, as I say, HyDra thinks he's pretty good on the Thieves. That'd be interesting to see. This is a change to ranked play, and we'll see whether this is transferable to actual competitive play as well. We know that there've been a map set change. Dealership Search and Destroy is in. I think generally people are not unhappy with that change, right? Dealership, I'm not saying it's the best search map ever, but it's not terrible, and I think honestly, dub from the CDL making the move in my opinion. Certainly something had to change, and I think the Dealership edition actually hasn't been bad. The Rewind return as well I think is a good thing as well. Now, Search and Destroy, maybe that's done in terms of changes they might make, but to the respawn map pool, there is still lots of talk about it because, you know, I think it would be nice to see a change in that map set before the end of the season. So, Grind Hardpoint, this of course is Grind's Black Ops 2 DLC map. It came out in the first DLC, I think back in BO2. Great pubs map, like this map's loads of fun. And it's a traditional map. It's a 3-lane map. I think it's very well designed. And I know that Ghosty said I didn't even play well in pubs back in the day, which first of all it did. And second of all, to say that it wouldn't work for competitive is, well, I think that's a bit premature because it's a 3-lane traditional map design. It may or may not play well on this title, but it's certainly a better map design, I think, than some of the maps that we have today. It's a bit unorthodox in some sense, but I think it's a nice map. So we'll see. They're going to put it in for Hardpoint, and we'll see how it goes. They're also adding both barrages to, like, Hardpoint and Control. This is Barrage. It looks like, you know, a couple of maps we've had in the last few years in the trenches, basically. This is the map. Look, when I saw this map layout, I wasn't especially optimistic, and I'm still not especially optimistic, but I guess we'll see. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of bit of a funky rotation here really as well. So I'm not convinced about this one. And well, this is the Grind Hardpoint rotation. So yeah, this is Grind if you guys aren't familiar with it. As I say, pretty much a 3-lane map design with a couple of connecting features. Probably the right idea to just keep it at the 4 hardpoints that I think it was back in BO2 originally. You know, you could maybe play around with where the 3rd hardpoint is. I think having the 1st hardpoint in middle would probably be a bit, you know, a bit too much just because it's a bit funky on this map to be fair, but I like the way the rest of the map plays. Anyway, that's what it's looking like right now. I'm not so sure about Barrage or whatever, but maybe Grinds is something to keep in mind. So we'll see. If it plays well in ranked, they may either just force it into the map pool. That's the funny thing now. The pros, they can cry all they want, but if the league changes what the map set is, then they change what the map set is. That's how it seems to be right now. But let's talk about some of these scrims. Ben the other day was calling out Thieves. He reckons that they're better than they showed in the major, that effectively ego complacency got in the way. I'd be inclined to agree. Whether they can get over that, I mean, it's obviously the question right now, because Thieves, when they play their best stuff, I do think Thieves look like the best team in the game. FaZe are the best team in the game. They actually win things, but you know, and I think Thieves will. But when Thieves are playing their like super flowing style, it's brilliant to watch, and they just seem untouchable at times. But they've not been able to replicate that, of course, yet on LAN. But the other day against Surge online, that's a series that, you know, you might think would be competitive. It wasn't really especially competitive. So certainly online, that is the domain of the Los Angeles Thieves right now. And we saw a couple of interesting scrim sets happening last night. night when OpTic turned on the streams. So, JP had it on as well. Of course, people were, doing the watch parties, as it were, so Dashy didn't have his stream on. But we did get the Codcaster view from JP's perspective, and it was real interesting to see this unfold. Now, Dashy last night was absolutely tucking, right? Like, this guy was unbelievable. I know that there was talk about, why not get the stream on Dashy, maybe get some gifted subs on the go. But, yeah, we got to see it from this POV. This was the protocol hardpoint here. I mean, look at Dashy's POV. He's already 17-6 at this point, 18-6, 19-6, slides into the hill. I mean, this guy's, cracked out of his mind, and then picked up the 20th kill as well. I mean, the game had barely started and Dashy had 20 kills. So, yeah, the guy was out of control yesterday. There was this spotted on the red card that was kind of interesting. Bit of a stair glitch going on here, right? We know that HyDra popped that stair glitch on Skyline a couple of months ago now and was never punished for it. So, look, I'm just saying that as we count down to the World Championship, there is talk about whether some of the GAs, let's say the snaking drama and the stair glitches, may start to be used in more force. I'm not saying, Shotzzy is doing anything. I mean, it looks pretty egregious from the angle right here. I mean, if he is laying down, he could, I think he's laying down on this one, right? So, there's obviously been a bit of talk about it. Not to say that it doesn't happen elsewhere too, but, just to keep in mind that as the season comes down to crunch time, it is certainly plausible that we start to see a bit more drama when it comes down to these GAs as time goes on. So at this point, LA Thieves are up 4-2 in the series. I'll have a look at some of the results here in a second. But this map was an absolute demolition job on the protocol control. Now, it's a map that the Thieves guys, I mean, they love their Hacienda, they love their vaults, so, it's not like they might be playing all that much protocol control. It's not like Thieves don't play it, and, this map, Shotzzy was absolutely world-starring, and Ghosty had a horrific time on the other side of the server. So, look, yes, OpTic lost this scrim set, if you want to say it that way. I think, fundamentally, OpTic, probably, and Thieves both won the scrim set in the sense that it was a good set of scrims. They played all 8 maps of the scrim. Nothing got chalked up, right? Like, I think it was certainly good practice as far as both teams would have been concerned. Thieves will be happy that they played a team that seems to be on the rise in OpTic Texas after making the changes, making some improvements they seem to be making. OpTic will be happy playing, what potentially are the best scrim team in the game right now. Maybe Toronto, who knows? That's also an argument too. So they look like they're playing really well. And just the fact that OpTic were able to do this to Thieves, I'm sure that Thieves are losing full. They're in the blender, whatever. They probably mentally had chalked up this map after the first couple of rounds. But still, even to be able to do this to Thieves, to have Ghosty 3-18, to have HyDra 12-15, to have Envoy 4-17, to have Scrapper 6-15, it's, I'm not sure there's many teams that can actually do that to them, even in scrims. So, this was the screenshot of the moment as well, just to have a look at the other side. Shotzi's 19-9, Dashy's 15-6, Huke's 16-4, Skyz is 15-6. You don't often see many maps like that. So, yeah, wanted to share a couple of clips of this, then we'll look at the total results.
Holy shit. Do you have aimbot on? 19-6. Damn.
Yeah, don't let Dan get a kill. Where's Dan? Bottom. Nice, one back right. Oh my god! Don't let Dan get a kill. Oh my god. Holy. He starts. Oh my jizmet. Back there, me. I need help. Oh my fucking god, John. Yeah. Lunarz, back T-steps, all the way in depths.
So OpTic's vault continues to look really impressive, right? I mean, both the scrim sets they played last night, this was true. They beat Thieves 250-202 on this map, and it was, Dashy with 52 eliminations here. They lost the Skyline 250-151. They then won the Hassi, which is a pretty big deal, I would say, because it's a map that Thieves like to play as well. And OpTic also like to play this map, so, let's say OpTic want to make a grand finals of an event this season and play Thieves or something, if that was possible. I mean, it's obviously possible, right, that happens. Hassi, I think, will be a crucial map in some of those series. They lost the red card, not OpTic's favourite for sure, 250-178. that's a map that they will likely continue to be avoiding, but, you know, maybe teams should be avoiding the vault against them, to be fair, right now. Then LA Thieves won the Protocol as well. So that was, you know, 2-3 to Thieves in the hardpoint scrim sets. Then they played all 3 controls. They won the vault 3-1. They lost the vault 3-1. They lost the Hassie 3-2, and then they smoked them, of course, on that Protocol. So yeah, very interesting stuff. I mean, the Protocol was especially strange, really, but Thieves played well on the other couple of maps, and we actually do have some kind of full scoreboards for this as well, although we can't quite fully see the players and the numbers on the scrim. You guys can get the general feeling anyway. This is Thieves at the top and OpTic at the bottom on the vaults, despite the fact that it's kind of strange Thieves actually won this map despite generally going negative. So that was kind of weird. But congratulations to the LA Thieves. They confirmed their title as the scrim champions. I don't know, like, who's been making these, but you guys saw this one the other day that was doing the rounds, and people were giving other nicknames, let's say, to the players on OpTic. Now it seems like LA Thieves are, you know, the reigning scrim champions. Maybe we need another one for Toronto at some point as well. So we'll see how that goes, if that ever hits the timeline. But yeah, so Thieves get the win, but I think certainly OpTic looked better here than they had done in some time. I think they have shown a lot of improvements, I think, over the last couple of weeks, this OpTic Texas team, and that should, to me, be no real surprise. And then they got the opportunity to kind of consolidate that theory in the next set they played against Gentlemates, a team that's made a couple of changes. FeLo is in, Johnny is in, so it's FeLo, Johnny, Lunarz, and Kismet. That's the new team of 4, and look, they should be better, I think, than the old team of 4, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all of the issues in that camp have been magically resolved. So they played 6 maps here. They didn't end up playing the Hassie or the Protocol, but OpTic just won everything, and pretty comfortably at that. I mean, the Hassie, they nearly 100-point clubbed them. The Vault, they did 100-point club them. The Skyline, of course, they lost that to Thieves. They won it 250-207. They lost the Protocol on the red card to Thieves. These are the maps that were closer. So, you know, I think the pattern is pretty clear. OpTic, they're nice at Hassie. They're really nice at Vault because, you know, both of those maps they beat Thieves on, and they dominated Gentlemates on here. The 3 maps that they lost to Thieves in the hardpoints, they won, but they won slightly less convincingly. I mean, 250-170 is still a very convincing win. It's just not quite a 100-point club. But yeah, great hardpoints. They then won the vault control in a 3-2. So yeah, anyway, pretty interesting. They're pinging 20 to Dallas. They had some sort of technical difficulties. They didn't have playing the control. But, you know, the bottom line is, OpTic played 2 scrim sets yesterday. They were very close to Thieves in one of them, and then they slammed a team that they should theoretically be slamming, right? So very interesting. Intrigued to your perspective in the comments below. Apparently they're going to play Cloud9 today. They've only got 1 set of scrims. They're going to play Cloud9. So that's pretty interesting, right? The C9 series, of course, they 3-0'd C9 without any difficulty, really, a couple of days ago. The C9 team has been in a bit of drama because, well, there's rumours about Capsidol potentially coming in for attach, whether they're going to do that or not. I don't imagine if Cloud9 are going to mess around anything with their team, they're going to do it live on stream. So, you know, we'll see how this goes today. But Cloud9 have a lot of work to do, let's say, if they want to get to the World Championship right now, because it's not looking so good. Whereas OpTic, on this form, on this evidence, certainly in the online matches that are upcoming, they should have no real difficulty getting the job done. And we can actually have a quick look at their qualifiers they play this weekend. So on Friday, it's Miami, a team that historically have caused them issues. And I wouldn't, like, that series, if it's not interesting, like, if OpTic slam them, I'll be impressed with OpTic a lot, actually, because it just feels like a series that always is interesting for some reason, and we'll see if that happens again. Then, of course, we get the Falcon series on the Saturday, right? So, the Pred series, basically. Pred versus his former team, Huke versus Pred as well. It's not like Huke and Pred have drama. It's just like Huke and Pred has been such a ongoing storyline in the OpTic camp over the last couple of years that it's going to be fascinating anyway. But OpTic on this form, you know, they should be closing out the week 4-0, and then in a good position. I think maybe they play FaZe, their final game of the stint. So that may be the deciding one. So very much interested to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.